Welcome back to the DMG Stood Wrong YouTube channel. My name is Mike, and today I'm joined by Gage Jones.
How you doing? Gage who?
Gage Jones.
Gage who?
Gage Jones.
Yeah, that's like a little inside joke. I'm sure everybody knows Mike Jones reference, but I didn't know what that was. And in high school, our high school coach, the first time when we were like all trying out, he said that, and I was like, "It's Gage Jones. Like, what's going on?" So I look like a total moron. But dude, I'm doing good. So tomorrow's draft day. When you guys will be seeing that, today is the draft day for you guys.
Yep.
So like this video and hurry up, click on over because we'll be live watching it, talking trash, just having fun. I'll be eating wings.
Boom.
I can't wait.
I'll be eating something decent.
Decent.
It's decent.
All right, there we go. Just pulling up my draft. So today we're pulling up my mock draft. Got to get it out before the the draft tomorrow / today. Mike and Dylan have theirs out. We've got a little forfeit. We like giving each other crap and making somebody do something incredibly embarrassing. So also peeping for Mikey's embarrassing T-shirt that he has to wear during the draft tomorrow.
I'm not wearing that during the draft tomorrow.
Have to. But yeah, before we get into it, just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the noti bell so you guys know when we go live, aka tonight. Boom. And let's have some fun.
Yeah.
We still see that only like 91.9% of you now are not subscribed when you watch our videos. So people are listening slowly.
Yeah.
So just hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. Hey, you guys are missing out if you don't hit that button. So, and we greatly appreciate it when you do. So, just keep that in
makes
mind.
It more fun. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's do this draft.
All right, you ready for your first overall pick here?
Oh my gosh, who did I pick? Any guesses? Oh, it's Aiden Hutchinson. So this is not what I would do per se, right? We're trying to pick out as many picks as correct as possible, right? Trying to get as many as possible correct. That way we win. So I just think this is what's going to end up happening.
Yeah.
I made this about a week ago, so I'm actually a little suspect. If anyone follows betting odds, I follow betting odds quite a bit. Oh yeah, I follow that stuff quite often. I used to gamble, don't do it anymore. Don't worry, mom and dad. I just follow it because now it keeps me settled. Like I'm like, okay, if I just follow it and not gamble, I still get the kick. But Trayvon Walker has blown up. He's actually now the favorite, and which doesn't make sense because Vegas doesn't do stuff to lose money, so there's something behind that. So a little nervous about it, but I'm still fairly confident that Aiden Hutchinson goes first.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Detroit, and we got them taking Trayvon Walker. If I were to do this today, I'm switching those two. I think I'm going Trayvon 1, Aiden 2. I think either or it makes sense. I'm not a fan of Trayvon Walker, I'll be honest, personally. I think he's an athletic freak, but he doesn't do anything with it. And he doesn't have a lot of moves. It's very much, I'm just going to bull rush and beat you with speed, and if that doesn't happen, that doesn't happen. Yeah, he doesn't look like he has a plan when he's pass rushing. Like Kayvon Thibodeau and Aiden Hutchinson, they kind of look like they know what they're doing. Like there's a second play to what they're trying to accomplish. Trayvon just seems like I'm just going to go 100% the entire time and hope it works out. And this is nitpicking. Obviously, he's good enough to be a top 10 player, right? So I just want to do it. Third overall, we got the Houston Texans. I got them taking Ike Mekwonu. Sticky Icky, I think he's probably the best tackle in the draft between him and Neal. I think Neal is the better pure left tackle that you would want. I just think that Ecom has got the potential to be better. And over the years, you just start to notice that people no longer draft who's better right now. They kind of draft the guy that can be better in a couple of years. Like, who's that freak athlete? And that's what Ecom is. He's a freak. Fourth overall, we got the Jets. I got them taking Kayvon Thibodeau. I think it's a great fit. I think Bob Saleh can get him to, get him to produce. I think Kayvon, everyone has like problems with what he's saying. I don't think it's huge of a deal, but I think there's mutual interest there as well. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to New York to build your brand?
Exactly.
I think it's a good fit. I would take Sauce here. I would take Sauce probably at 2, honestly, but I just don't see it happening. We'll go on down to 5th. We got the New York Giants. They take Evan Neal, the other tackle. The Giants have been spending a lot of capital on their O-line as of late. I think the last 2 years, 3 years, they've gone O-line, and it just doesn't seem to be working out. And you kind of have to. You got to get that tackle. So I think with him and Andrew Thomas, who they got 2 years ago, that is Jedrick Wills draft class.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that because New York and Cleveland had back to back. It was New York, then Cleveland, and then it was Cleveland, and then New York, and then New York, then Cleveland, throughout the draft. And the Giants drafted very similar to what the Browns were doing the entire way. So I was like, I want either Andrew Thomas or Jedrick Wills. I'll be happy with either or. And then the Giants took Andrew Thomas. He's still going. With offensive linemen, you should give him about 3 years. 3 years before you put oh, he's a bust on somebody. Because that's usually kind of the time frame that it takes for offensive linemen to settle into the NFL. On average, right? Obviously there's guys like Rashawn Slater and Penei Sewell that just blow up the first year, which is great. But year 3 is about what you'll see is where they're going to be at their physical peak in the NFL. 6 overall, that's the Carolina Panthers. I do have them going with Malik Willis. I don't think it's smart, honestly. I know people like to bag on Baker Mayfield. I'm happy that the Browns traded for Deshaun Watson. I think that makes our team much better. I have no quarrel with Baker Mayfield. I wish him the best, but if Baker Mayfield was coming out of college right now, he would be by far easily the best quarterback in this draft. And I don't understand why this is even being considered other guys instead of drafting for Baker, especially since you'll likely get the Browns to pay you to take them just so they can get a third, fourth round pick. So I don't get it. I think the Carolina Panthers should trade for Baker Mayfield, especially since this guy right here, Malik Willis, that they would likely draft, is going for the next GM and head coach. Because the GM and head coach right now, if this pick happens, will not be there next year. But I think this is the best prospect at the quarterback position available. So I think that's where a quarterback will end up going. And there's no trades in my mock draft. It's too hard to pick, and I'm just trying to get as many down correctly. 7th overall, we got the New York Giants taking Sauce Gardner. I think this is a great haul for him. The Giants already have a great secondary. Their problem has just been producing anything offensively. Hopefully that will change with the new head coach down there from Buffalo, the offensive coordinator. But Sauce Gardner is locked down. They've had lockdown corners there for a while. They have James Bradbury, who's incredible there as well. I think this is a good pick, good value. Just take the best player available, and Sauce is by far that. I think he's dropped too far. 8th overall, got the Atlanta Falcons taking Garrett Wilson. This is another one I'm iffy on. I think that the Falcons could go quarterback, but I'm not sure how committed they are to tanking. If they go Garrett Wilson, I think they're just playing next year. Get a quarterback next year, which honestly is the smartest thing, because I think they messed up. Kyle Pitts is a great player, but I think they messed up not taking Justin Fields last year, especially since you pissed off your quarterback to the point where he left to go to Indianapolis. But this is a good start for whatever quarterback that does come into play. You got Garrett Wilson and Kyle Pitts, and then Calvin Ridley whenever the NFL stops being stingy about him gambling on himself, which is just ridiculous. 9th overall, we got the Seattle Seahawks taking Charles Cross, offensive tackle from Mississippi State. I think it's a great pickup. I think the Seahawks, and it's a well-known fact at this point that the Seahawks have trouble protecting the passer. They haven't been able to block for Russell Wilson for the last 8 years, no matter what they did. And I just think it's time to just keep improving that line. You finally got some picks. You're probably gonna stick it out with Drew Lock for a year. So give him the best possibility. See if he's your guy. You've already got a couple running backs. You're hoping that Penny can continue on that growth that he had last year. And if not, you still have Penny and Carson. That's a good duo. You've got a good young tight end, Noah Fant, that Drew Lock is comfortable and familiar with. And then you obviously got a great wide receiver group. So help him boost that offensive line and see if Drew Lock's your guy. If not, then you're here next year and you're picking again. But whoever you're picking for then actually has some protection. 10th overall, we got the New York Jets. I've got them taking Drake London, wide receiver at USC. It just kind of seems like this is the fit for him. I've made it well known that I do not like Drake London. I think that he will be a bust. And I don't mean like, oh, he just won't perform for his draft rating. I just don't think that I would not touch him with the 10-foot pole. He's just, everything about him screams red flag to me. And people say oh, he's so silky smooth, a great route runner. No, he isn't. He really isn't. He's good for being 6'6", but he's not fast. He cannot create separation in the Pac-12. If your number one thing as a wide receiver is man, this guy's contested catches are really good, go look again, because there's a huge difference between contested catches and having to, because you can't create separation. A la N'Keal Harry, Butler from Iowa State. Was it Hakeem Butler?
Potentially.
I think that was his name.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. JJ Arcega-Whiteside. There's nothing about it. The one guy that you could point to that's doing well right now is Mike Evans, and that guy has legitimate 4.4 speed. Drake London refuses to run. That should tell you something.
Just watch the tape, bro.
Yeah, that's just it. It's the tape doesn't help you too much.
Yeah.
So that's my personal opinion. I have been absolutely wrong. The last time I think I was this adamant on a prospect was Josh Allen. So, and I've gone on record multiple times about how wrong I was there. So we'll move on to 11th overall. I've got the Washington Commies taking Washington.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. I got them taking Kyle Hamilton. They just got rid of Landon Collins. Massive cap hit that he was eating up. So they just got rid of him, got a lot of money back. But you're replacing him with a better player. Kyle Hamilton is a really good player. He's probably top 8 in the draft total, and just kind of falls out because of positional value. And in this situation, it'd be nice to grab him. Drake London and Garrett Wilson are both off the board already. I think if Drake London wasn't paid last, I think he'd be a good situation for 11, especially to complement with Terry McLaurin and what Carson Wentz likes to do. But Washington have been building on their defense. They want to play as their defense, and they had a struggle last year, an awful defensive showing last year. So they kind of want to add pieces to that and continue on that, make their defense really good and build off of that. And with the 12th pick, I've got the Minnesota Vikings taking Trent McDuffie, corner out of Washington. I let my bias get in the way here. I think it'll most likely be Derrick Stingley Jr. I just don't think it should. I think Trent McDuffie has shown consistent tape and is also a really good cornerback in general. I think that you really cannot base Stingley off of tape from almost 3 years ago now, in which he hasn't even shown flashes of that same level since. I think it's a huge risk. He's got injury concerns as it is, which just means whatever team he goes to will end up being an AFC North team, and he'll be the best corner ever. Because that just makes sense, right? But I got Trent McDuffie going here. I think it is corner here for the Vikings. They just they shot themselves in the foot. They have no corners. Everyone was off contract. I'm not sure who they re-signed to it. I think they signed a couple guys back, but I think it's still a good pick. 13th overall, got the Houston Texans taking Jermaine Johnson, last chance you, edge from Florida State. I think he's really good. He had to leave Georgia to get minutes in Florida State, which just tells you how crazy that Georgia defensive line was. And the fact that the best player on that defensive line isn't even in this draft yet, he's not even eligible. He'll be out next year, is crazy. But Jermaine Johnson, he left to Florida State, and he showed what he could. Didn't get a lot of recognition just because Florida State had an awful year, and kind of made everybody pay attention to him at the Senior Bowl. And you go and watch his tape and just watch him. He's incredible. I think it's a good pick, especially since they got Ecom, I think, in the third overall pick for him. Get both lines going. Just build up talent. I like it. 14th overall. I took Jordan Davis for the Baltimore Ravens. Gosh, I hate this. I really hope it doesn't happen, but he would be a monster on that team. The Ravens have had big space eaters that just perform very well on their team for a long time. Calais Campbell just got re-signed for this last year, so get somebody else in to help and take away some of that. They've had previous guys like Haloti Ngata that have done extremely well in their system, and they now have I think Brandon Williams as their D tackle is just a massive dude. And now you add Jordan Davis, he's probably bigger than all of them, and a bigger athlete and has the potential. So we'll see if he can put it together. If he goes to the Ravens, he most likely will. Anybody that goes to the Ravens on defense seems to perform fairly well. 15th overall, I've got the Philadelphia Eagles taking Derrick Stingley Jr. here. Whereas I have my opinion on it, he really is too good of a prospect to keep passing up. I mean, that tape that he did have, if that was the only tape we have on him and he only played that 1 year, he would be potentially the first overall pick. Like, he'd be in that conversation. So I can see, you can argue it both ways. With Derrick, with him, the benefit is they already have a good set of corners. So he won't have to be the starter right away. They can work him in, but he most likely will. It also just helps that Derrick big play slays on the other side. So I think this is a good pick for him. We'll move on to 16, which I think is the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, I had them taking Chris Olave, wide receiver at Ohio State. This is just, if this draft stays the same, this is where I'm going to keep with it. I believe there's going to be a lot of trading up for wide receivers. Take a look at the Packers and the Chiefs potentially. I think those are the two big ones in the first round, because wide receiver talent is very, very heavy in this draft, but the elite ones, there's only about 4 or 5, and they're going to go high. And as the wide receiver contracts get bigger and bigger, when you already have your quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and they're getting paid a lot, having these guys on rookie deals is very, very advantageous for your team. 17th overall, I got the Los Angeles Chargers taking Trevor Penning out of Northern Iowa, the offensive tackle. Have him play opposite to Rashawn Slater, and have your two big guys protecting J. Herb. Justin Herbert is a baller. Everyone knows that. The guy's already top 8, top 7 in the NFL. Keep him upright. Don't let him get hit. That's benefit that the Chargers have done. Excuse me. Talking myself into hiccups. That's a benefit the Chargers have done. Since Joe Burrow has gotten into the league, he's taken the most hits, the most sacks. Like, he had a ridiculous number of sacks last year. I think it was like 80 something, and Justin Herbert had, I think, like 39. So being able to just keep this guy healthy and continue that is very, very positive for your team. And having two young guys that are just mean, like Slater and Penning, I think that'd be a very good situation for the Chargers. 18th overall, I believe, is the Eagles again. Yep. So I have them taking Jamison Williams out of Alabama. I'm interested in this one. I'm skeptical about this pick now. Like, looking back at it, Jamison Williams has trouble blocking, and that is the only negative you can say about his game, because he is absolutely just rapid, so fast, great route runner, catches everything. You can have him run slants. You can have him run run across the field. You can have him run streaks, fades, screens, anything you want. Jet sweeps. This guy's a freak, and he'd honestly probably be the best wide receiver in this draft if he didn't, unfortunately, tear his ACL in the championship game. But I like the pairing of just giving Jameson Williams and Devontae Smith up with Jalen Hurts. Do anything you can to see if Jalen Hurts is your guy or not. 19th overall, I think, is the Saints again. They got Devontae Wyatt, also a defensive lineman, D-tackle from Georgia. I think it's a good pick. I just went best player available, and Devontae Wyatt was falling, I think, a little bit too much. The Saints have always, proud of themselves off of good defense over the last, probably 5 or 6 years. And I think having this guy just helps benefit that defensive line already that is dominant as it is. The Saints have shown that they're not trying to rebuild. They are looking to win right now, and they were 5-1, 6-1, 6-2 with Winston before he got hurt. So they think that they have something. So getting a guy like Devontae Wyatt who will come out and start for you is a good pickup for him. 20th overall, you got the Pittsburgh Steelers taking Kenny Pickett out of Pittsburgh. This one was a spite pick. I don't think it happens. I don't think they're really interested in Kenny Pickett, but please take the guy with small hands that needs to wear gloves to play in Pittsburgh so Myles Garrett can eat all day. 21 overall, we've got the New England Patriots taking Devin Lloyd out of Utah, the linebacker. I know Mikey's shaking his head yes. I know he would have preferred Nakobe Dean. That's who I think is probably the overall better linebacker, like just pure linebacker. But if you look at the linebackers that the Patriots have and who they like and whatnot, Devin Lloyd fits that build perfectly. 6'4", big dude. He can play inside and outside if you want him to, and he does a lot more than just tackle and run after the ball. He is like basically the dream for Bill Belichick, I would think. I think Nakobe Dean's a great linebacker. I have nothing against him whatsoever. I think he's a great player. I just think that with Bill Belichick, I think Devin Lloyd is just too much of a toy for him to pass up. 22, I got the Green Bay Packers taking Treylon Burks. Sad noises, my boy from Arkansas, wide receiver. He's my baby in the draft. He's who I wanted the Browns to take before we traded away all of our picks. And if this does happen and Treylon Burks does go to the Packers, he will be the best rookie wide receiver. Yeah. Draft him. In your fantasy leagues, draft him, period. 23 overall, I think that's the Cardinals. Yeah, I got them taking George Karlaftis, which now there's buzz that like Drake Jackson, the defensive lineman from USC, could end up going first round, which really makes me scared because usually with the draft, you hear all these like smoke screen stuff throughout the time, and then like the day before, the day of, all of a sudden you hear about these players that haven't been being talked about for a while that like, oh, he could be a first rounder, and then bam, all of a sudden he's a first rounder. Baker Mayfield, he was not going to be the first round pick or first overall pick, and then the day of the draft, all of a sudden it was like Baker's in the running for it, and then he ended up being it. So I'm nervous. And same day, the 27th of April, the day before the draft, Karlaftis is like he could end up falling into the second round. So I'm really nervous on this pick. I think it's a good pickup. I think he's a great edge rusher. I just don't think he has that quote-unquote like freak athletic ability and body that the NFL seems to love right now. But I think he's a great fit, and you need an edge since Chandler Jones left. 24. Got Kenyon Green, guard from Texas A&M. Good replacement. They lost a lot of players on their offensive line, having to make cuts for cap reasons. Start replacing that offensive line. I mean, that's what's made your running game so great. That's what's helped your team. You can't cut them all and then expect your offense to perform the way it did before. You gotta improve it. Kenyon Green slots in and starts right away. I like it. 25th overall. Got the Buffalo Bills taking Andrew Booth Jr., cornerback out of Clemson. Mikey's throwing the thumbs down because he knows that Andrew Booth can lock up any of the bum wide receivers in the New England. 26th, Tennessee Titans are taking also another guard, Zion Johnson from Boston College. They're built off of running the football. and doing it well, and they need some guard play. So I just thought it was a good fit, good timing for it. Fortunately for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are next, that's 2 guards off the board. Luckily for them, they do get Tyler Linderbaum. I don't think it's like a replacement, like center for center. Obviously, they have Ryan Jensen still. But Linderbaum is, if you take out positional value, he's top 10 player in this draft, period. Like, the guy is pro ready, and we saw it with the center Creed Humphrey for the Chiefs. Just like all of a sudden, like, change that entire offensive line. That's how good Tyler Linderbaum is, and everyone knows it and aren't surprised by it. So he's like, they know this is where he's at. So I think it's a good pickup for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You maybe slide him in at guard and see what he can do. I don't think it matters. Have him take over Kappa's spot, and either way, he'll be just fine. Anywhere on the offensive line in the inside, he'll be just good. 28 overall is at the Packers again, the second one. I've got them taking edge David Ojabo. Ojabo is a great defensive end. Unfortunately for him, he tore his Achilles, I believe, right? At his pro day. Really sad. And if there's a team that doesn't need performance right now, it would be the Packers. They could have him sit and rest and get back to 100% and have him back week 7, like 14, 15, 16, and let him get his feet under him. So I think this is a good pick. I think he is a great edge rusher. He's very raw, but he's got a lot of ability, and they seem to like that kind of player. They've taken a couple guys out of Michigan, and they've got a good pass rushing core there already. So I think this is a good pickup for them. 29th, I think, is the Chiefs. Yeah, I got them taking Jahan Dotson, wide receiver out of Penn State. I hate it. I think Jahan Dotson is Antonio Brown coming out of college. He plays so similar to him, and I think anyone that goes, like I was saying with the Packers, like Traylon Burks, if he goes and plays with Aaron Rodgers, I think if Jahan Dotson plays with Patrick Mahomes, that's just like the perfect situation for a wide receiver. I think he'll be very good. Unfortunately, 30th overall, I think it's the Chiefs again, and I have them taking Boye Mafe, edge out of Minnesota. If I could, I would switch this and probably Drake Jackson. I'm wondering if that's why those rumors are starting to come up, because I know there was a heavy Chief influence at the USC Pro Day. I'm just speculating and putting crap together. They need defensive players, and an edge is always premium. 31 overall is the Cincinnati Bengals. You guys will always be the Bengals. Just because you went to the Super Bowl, you still lost, so you're still the Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals, they're taking Nakobe Dean, linebacker out of Georgia. So there you go. I just made fun of the Bengals, right? But then I gave you Nakobe Dean, so we're even. I hate it. That's a great pick. He's a great linebacker.
Yeah.
And that team is on the up and coming, right? I actually don't hate the Bengals at all, right? Like, just giving them a hard time because they're divisional rivals. If any team's going to succeed in the AFC North, I'd rather be the Bengals than the other two teams. So their offense was absolutely elite. They fixed their offensive line on paper, right? Like, you don't know until they play, obviously, but they did everything to help Joe Burrow and stay protected. And now you get a guy that's just an absolute leader that can bring that juice that, Jamar Chase helped bring on the offense. You can have a guy like that bring that juice on the defense. I mean, I think it's a great pickup. The Bengals are looking really good and are a good position. And then lastly, I think it's the Detroit Lions. I got them taking Lewis Sine, safety out of Georgia. I think that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Georgia players taken in this first round. Yeah, that's what I have. I have taken 5 Georgia players out of this first round. Detroit needs anything, on the defensive side. The guys played their hearts out, bless them. But a lot of them were practice squad guys that shouldn't be playing in the NFL, coming in. So anything to improve this secondary is a good thing. And I think Lewis Sine fits what Dan Campbell would like his team to play. I think it's a good pickup. I think he could be one of many things. I feel bad for Detroit. I feel like this is like the year they would like to trade back and get more picks. There's just no one to trade up for, per se. So I think I like the Lewis Cine pick, and that's what I'm gonna go with. That's my first 32. What do you think, Mikey? What shocked you? What do you agree with?
I agree with mostly all of this. Like, I mean, obviously this won't happen. That was just for the Bants. But if they do take a quarterback, I think they go Desmond Ridder.
Let's go Kenny Pickett, yeah.
Yeah, but if they do quarterback, I think they go Desmond Ridder. But most of this I do agree with. I agree with your Stingley take. I'm not high on Stingley either. Jermaine Johnson, he's beast. Trent McDuffie, that's a perfect fit there. Kyle Hamilton falls only because he's a safety, but he's probably a top 5 athlete in this draft. Sauce, I mean, like, every one of these picks, you can tell that you took the thought into making every single one, minus the Steelers one. But, yeah, I agree with...
Actually, I think I put the most thought into the Steelers one, honestly.
All right. Well, I can't give him a kicker or a punter, so I got to be kind of serious but kind of not. So, Kenny Pickett.
I'm going to give him quarterback.
Yeah.
No, so like we've done so many mock drafts at this point, right? And it's kind of gotten nauseating for me personally because I'm a Browns fan. I don't have the first round pick, right?
Yeah.
It's like all these guys, like they're not going to my team, right? It's basically watching like please, Ravens, Steelers, don't draft this guy. Please don't draft this guy. That's what it's become, right? So I just I was like, you know what? I've got my opinion. I know the guys I like, the guys I don't like. I know what teams like or what need, right? Mm-hmm. So I just kind of went gut. Like I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to spend more than 10 seconds. What do they need? And I just went gut reaction. I think the Jordan Davis one, looking back at it, it's probably pretty high. We shall see what's happening.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mom texted me. Yeah, I think it's a winner. I think I beat you guys. I mean, easy money.
Yeah.
So.
Sure, buddy.
I think the Trevor Penning one is kind of high.
Could be. I mean, even if he doesn't go here, he goes here. Because
right?
they still need they need an offensive lineman. So I mean, I could see them going that there or vice versa, switching these two.
Which is why I took Devontae Wyatt there, because I originally wanted a tackle, but I was like, you know what? I took them all. So
yeah, and I think Bernhard's kind of fallen out of the first round now. Thank God, because that dude was not a first round talent.
Bernhard Raymond, yeah, no. But if you guys have made it to the end of this video, we do appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. If you stayed till the end, might as well just hit the subscribe button, because obviously you love my voice, which I know I sound like a tool, so I appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys up for some more NFL content, especially tonight. Got the draft season, the NFL draft first round. I'm excited. I cannot wait. It's going to be nice watching an NFL draft and not having to worry about a first round pick. Yeah. So, with that, see you guys.
Yep. Peace out.